Journey Beyond Sodor, a little golden book. One sunny day on the island of Sodor, Henry ran into trouble in Vickerstown. A signal failed. Henry crashed. Henry needed repairs. Sir Thomas Hat decided that James would take Henry's trucks to the mainland. James puffed with pride. Thomas wasn't happy that James got such a great job, and James thought he was Sir Thomas Hat's favorite engine. Then an idea flew into Thomas's funnel. Early in the morning, Thomas went to Vickerstown goods yard, and he quietly took James's truck and headed for the mainland. He was excited and a bit worried. He didn't know how to find the Bridlington goods yard and to deliver the trucks. On the mainland, Thomas introduced himself to a crane named Beresford. Thomas asked for directions, but Beresford couldn't help. He'd never been to the goods yard. Thomas rolled it on his way. Later, Thomas found a strange yard filled with old machine parts. "Hi, nice to meet you," tooted an engine named Lexi. Another engine, Theo, rolled up. Thomas had never seen such odd engines. He asked what kind they were. "We're experimental," Theo replied. "We're test models," Lexi explained. Lexi and Theo had a friend named called Merlin, but Thomas didn't see him. "Oh, you won't," Lexi peeped. "He's a stealth engine designed to be hard to see. Invisible." Thomas gasped. "He can become invisible?" Lexi chuckled. "Let's just say he's always disappearing." Thomas refueled and set off again. Soon he rounded a bend and saw a giant steelworks. At the steelworks, Thomas met two huge engines. The big tank engine was called Hurricane. The diesel shunter was called Frankie. Thomas asked for directions to Bridlington. "Don't worry about going to the goods yard tonight," said Frankie. "Just accompany our trucks." So Thomas did. "We'll look after them for you," Hurricane boomed. Thomas went toward the steelworks. Everything glowed and sizzled as molten steel was poured into molds. It was a busy, bustling place. It's the hottest place in town," Frankie and Hurricane tooted. Afterward, Thomas settled in a comfy shed for a much-needed rest. Long before dawn the next day, Frankie and Hurricane woke Thomas. They'd already delivered his trucks to Bridlington. "Then I'd better get back to Sodor," Thomas replied sleepily. "We helped you out, little tank engine," Frankie said. "Now, and won't you help us?" So Thomas spent the day shunting ladle trucks and doing other hot, dangerous tasks. He was anxious to go home, but when Thomas was done, Frankie and Hurricane wouldn't let him go. There was more work to do. They locked him in the steelworks. Meanwhile, back on Sodor, the engines wondered where was Thomas. James was tired of doing his friend's jobs. "I'm going to the mainland to bring him back," he said. That night, at the steelworks, thunder crashed and lightning flashed. Thomas knew he had to escape while Frankie and Hurricane slept. He rolled through the dark, slowly building speed, and bashed through the gates. Thomas fled into the woods. "Are you hiding?" asked a voice. He's in the dark. "I love hiding. I'm a stealth engine." Thomas knew the voice was Merlin's. "Don't worry," Merlin whispered. "You're with the best hider ever." Thomas felt safe. The big engines didn't find him. The next morning, Merlin was gone. As Thomas headed toward Sodor, he met Beresford again. Just as Frankie and Hurricane got near, Beresford quickly hoisted Thomas up and hit him. Just then, James rolled down the track and met Frankie and Hurricane. The three of them went off together. Thomas knew he had to save his friend, and he knew who could help. Thomas hurried into the to find the experimental engines again and asked Theo, Lexi, and Merlin to help save James. "We can't do anything," Theo said. "We can try," Merlin replied. "This is so exciting," Lexi tooted. Theo and Lexi pretended there was an accident, and Frankie and Hurricane went to check. Thomas and Merlin snuck into the steelworks. "James," Thomas peeped, "we have to go." "Oh, I'm ready," James puffed. "I don't like this work at all." Frankie and Hurricane returned. They chased Thomas and James back into the steelworks. Theo tried to help, but he crashed into a control panel. A giant magnet swung out and stuck to Thomas. It lifted him and carried him toward a glowing furnace. Theo hit the release button. Thomas crashed down and knocked over a vat of molten steel. A fiery puddle sprinted toward him, but Hurricane shoved him out of the way. Thomas was safe, but Hurricane's wheels had touched the boiling hot puddle. "Help!" he screamed. "My front wheels are melting." Merlin pulled Hurricane to safety, but his front wheels needed major repairs. Without Hurricane, Frankie was lost. "I can't do it all by myself," she said. "Nobody wants to work here." But Thomas knew some engines that might. The experimental engines said they'd work at the steelworks. They'd be happy to be helpful and useful. Back on Sodor, Thomas apologized for taking James's trucks. "I know I'm not Sir Topham Hatt's favorite engine," James peeped. "If anyone is, it's you, Thomas." "Silly, James," Thomas said, chuckling. And Tim and Chance, their friends, were happy to see them again. "There's a sight for sore eyes," Sir Topham Hatt said. He was happy to have all of his favorite engines home again. The end.